Jason Frakes here with me to preview the top games in high school football this week. But Jason, before we get into the games this Friday, let's head back to last Friday, the rivalry game between Trinity and St. X. St. X really making a statement with the 35-21 win over the Shamrocks. Was this as big of a shocker to you as it was to everyone else in the area?
It was definitely a surprise. I don't think many people had St. X winning that game. I thought St. X had a chance, but I didn't expect them to dominate the way they did, really. Quarterback Noah Houck had a great game, throwing for 3 touchdowns. And then every year it seems like there's a surprise star in this game, and Blake Roszkowski kind of filled that role for St. X last week. 5 carries, 96 yards, and a touchdown. He'd only carried the ball once this season coming into that game. So they found a speedy guy, got that sophomore on the field, and he really made some nice plays for St. X.
Well, probably now heading into district play down the rest of the season, we'll continue to make plays, but we'll move on to the games this week. We'll stick with St. X. Tigers are 5-2 now, but they have another big test this week with undefeated Mayo. The Bulldogs with their closest game, I guess, to date with a 17-0 win over Meade County. Does Mayo stay undefeated, or can St. X keep it rolling?
I think St. X has a chance in this game, but Mayo has just been so good this year. You know, that 17-0 score against Meade County, people think, well, what happened to their offense? But just looking at the stats of that game, Ellis Kane and Devin Gentry combined for 55 carries, almost 250 yards rushing. I think they just kind of focused on their ground game, got the lead, let the defense do what they do, and, you know, they only allowed 76 yards to Meade County. So, you know, these two teams played 2 really exciting games last year. Mayo won both of them, 44-40 in the regular season, 23-21 in the playoffs. I expect it to be another close game, and St. X obviously coming in with a lot of momentum after that win over Trinity, but I'm going to take Mayo in a close one here.
Well, I was asking you about that ahead of time, about the 17-0 score. It seems like it's one of them where that defense for Mayo is so good, they get the lead and just play to it, because at this point, somebody's going to have to prove that they can actually score on Mayo before I'll think that they can be beaten.
Yeah, and, you know, St. X really kind of broke out of things offensively last week, putting up 35 points on Trinity. So I think they go into this confident, and I think this is, like I said, a close game. St. X can win this game, but until somebody beats Mayo, I think you got to keep going with Mayo.
Well, next up on the slate is Trinity. Of course, the Shamrocks looking to bounce back from the loss to St. X last week, but their road also doesn't get any easier. Trinity heads to 6-0 Manual, who's coming off a 35-0 win over Butler, and they've only allowed 21 points the entire season. So can Trinity bounce back, get back on track, or do the Crimsons stay unbeaten?
Yeah, like you said, that Manual defense has been incredible, only giving up 21 points. You know, Anthony Kaiser had 8 tackles in that win over Butler last week. That was their 3rd shutout of the year. The defense has just been incredible. Trinity, you know, they looked okay offensively last week against St. X, but they still haven't really totally clicked all year. And then defensively, you know, their secondary is just depleted right now. 3 of their 4 starters are out with injuries. St. X took advantage of that. I think Manual can take advantage of that. Manual hasn't beaten Trinity since 2003, so I really think I'm going to take Manual in a close one here.
Well, it could be the year of beating Trinity, breaking those streaks. St. X did it. We'll see if Manual can do it. And it's kind of like a round robin between these teams now with district play getting underway. So we're really going to see how the pecking order establishes itself with these top teams.
Yeah, we really are. You got Trinity Mayo next week along with St. X Manual. So, you know, we're really going to see where these top teams kind of stand the next couple of weeks.
All right, the third game on our slate, a rivalry matchup, 4-2 Bullitt East at undefeated Bullitt Central. Chargers coming off a nice win over Oldham County last week, but the Cougars put up 69 points, and they've got a star running back with Trevor Carnell. How do you think this rivalry will end up shaking out?
Well, this is a really interesting game to me. You know, Bullitt East beat Bullitt Central 56-6 last year. So Bullitt Central obviously looking for a little revenge there. And like you said, Trevor Carnell has been outstanding this year. He's rushed for over 1,100 yards, 19 touchdowns. He's averaging 11.7 yards per carry. So obviously breaking off a lot of nice runs. Bullitt East really doesn't have that sort of explosive one player, but they have a lot of good guys who can run the ball. They have 5 guys who rush for over 100 yards this year already. Pierce Kelly, Austin Colvin, Robert Hartley kind of leading the way there. I expect this to be a close game, a big rivalry game. Everybody in Bullitt County is going to be there, but I'm taking the Chargers in a close one.
Gotcha. Well, our final game this week, 3-3 PRP heading to Seneca to play the 4-2 Chargers. Both teams coming off of wins. We'll look to make a push here in the back half of the schedule. Who do you see winning this one?
Well, PRP got a nice win last week, as we talked about. Really big for them getting Delvon Dunn, their running back. He had 4 touchdowns last week in that victory over Fern Creek. And then a guy that at PRP who hasn't really got a lot of pub this year is Malik Walker. He's a really good wide receiver, 6 catches, 166 yards and a touchdown. Over at Seneca, they beat a team last week that they should beat in Glasgow, but they didn't beat them last year. So that was a good win for them. Going down to Glasgow, Trayvon Harris, Tylen Harbin getting it done there for Seneca. Seneca won this game last year, 27-25. This is really kind of a coin flip game for me, really. But I'm going to take Seneca in a close one.
Always stick with the home team in close games. You can at least count on some sort of home field advantage. We'll finish it as we do every week with your top 5, Jason. Tons of shakeups. Explain yourself.
Yeah, St. X beating Trinity really sort of threw this top 5 into flux, I guess you could say, this week. You know, with Bowling Green having beaten St. X, I don't think you can put St. X above Bowling Green. So Bowling Green back in here at number 2. St. X obviously beating Trinity. Highlands at number 5. You know, there's 2 teams in there, Manual and Scott County. I think there's a legitimate top 7 this year, and you might could throw DeSales in there as a legitimate sort of top 8. So if we went 8 deep, you'd see Manual, Scott County, and DeSales on there, I think.
Well, with all these teams playing in the next couple weeks, we'll get to see maybe Manual makes an appearance again. Maybe Scott County creeps back in. Only time will tell, but we'll see what happens next week.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun these next few weeks for sure.
All right. Thanks for joining me, Jason. Drew, back to you.